just get everything ready, and then we'll start the live stream. It's working. 'Cause I did try and link it with the live stream that I sort of posted yesterday, so you'll be able to see when I'm live streaming. But for some reason, this one seems to make its own live stream and doesn't link with the other one, I don't think. But we'll see. Okay, I think everything's set up. Yeah, time will tell. So yeah, going to paint some orcs. No real surprise there, I guess. And these ones are definitely sneaky orcs. I did mention the other day that I really like Mr. Modulor's stuff. I don't know if you've ever taken a look at it. It's over on my manufactory. But something he has done is these guys, and I think these are absolutely hilarious. Yeah, couldn't get any sneakier than these dudes. Let's just turn off the fact I can hear myself in my ear. Yes, we're going to paint these. So these are by Mr. Modulok, and this live stream is sponsored by Hay Gears, as they recently sent me one of their 3D prints. So I 3D printed these guys off, and obviously now I'm gonna paint them. But yeah, so it's just comical. But yeah, obviously check out Mr. Modulok. He does obviously do your normal kind of orcs with their big armor, weapons, and all the rest of it. But also there's a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, there's a Batman orc over there. I think there's the oh, what is it? Ghostbusters. He's turned them into orcs and the vehicles as well, which is pretty cool. One thing I haven't done is pop out the chat so I can see what's going on. Um, yeah, I'm hoping to get another screen very soon, so I can have everything in front of me rather than my screens, which are currently to the side. There we go. Sneaky orcs indeed. Writing down, hello there. Yeah, your small orc army. Yeah, yeah, very small, wasn't it? Yeah, just a few there. So I don't think I'm ever going to make a proper orc army. Um, yeah, I think I've realised as much as I love painting orcs, I don't think I'm ever going to play Warhammer 40k. So I'm just going to paint little bits of orcs here and there. I'm never going to make a full, well, not a full army I'm going to keep anyway. Certainly paint them up and sell them. Yeah, definitely do that. So yeah, so these are the guys I'm going to paint. I've already got my paints sort of set out in front of me. Too many colours, really. Obviously, browns for the box, black for the tyres. I think I'm going to paint the tin red. So it's not really that sneaky because he's going to stand out like a, I don't know what, sore thumb. And then obviously a bit of silver for the trash can dude. But as always, whenever I do paint orcs, for whatever reason, I like to just paint the green bit first. Because obviously I love orcs, I love the green. So yeah, we're going to do the green first. And sticking with my, obviously, one of my favourites, good old charming chartreuse, or chartreuse. Still need to work out how to say that properly, but you guys know what I mean. Right, let's. Um, yes, I don't know why. Obviously, I made up the live stream sort of thing last night. But for some reason, when I use OBS, was it OBS I'm using? Um, Streamlabs. Because there's two. I thought they were both the same. But there's OBS and then there's Streamlabs. Even though one of them does use components of the other, it should have tied in. For some reason, it's made a separate sort of video rather than linking with the other one. So I need to sort of, well, I can't actually get rid of the other one. Hopefully, it will just expire. Um, we'll see. So I'm just trying to get it on one of my screens, but it's got the old one. Uh, Gonna be it. I think that's it. Well, so like all the other streams, it's going to be a couple of hours. Um, shouldn't take too long really to paint these because, as you can see, there's not a lot of orc on show. It's more the disguise that they're in. It's going to take up most of the paint, which is pretty cool. On that table, you was missing 100 orcs. Oh wow, they have multiple since then. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, the Viking Down sent me some pictures of his orcs. Well, a table full of orcs, and yeah, pretty impressive. So yeah, guys, don't get. I'll leave a link to my Facebook page once I get that up, as that's where I'm going to be sort of information about when I'm going to be doing the live streams. Still not 100% sure exactly what times as yet. So this week, possibly going into next week, I'm going to still mess about with different times of the day to do live streams. And then the week after, hopefully, I should get into some sort of routine where I do them the same time on whatever days. Um, So this is just the link to my Facebook page. I say I do have like social media on Instagram, Pinterest, and all that. I don't use them half as much as I should do. Um, Whereas the Facebook one, I get notified anything happens on there. That's kind of why I use it probably more than any of the others, just because I simply get notified of things that are there. You like it when the sneaky orcs have writing on them that's saying, yeah, not orc, yeah, no orcs here. Yeah, so say we're going to start painting these. Going to go with the green and say we're going to start with charming first. And so on the table, I've got a couple of browns I'm going to use as well. Use the light brown probably for the box and the darker brown for the wooden crates. But as I say, paint the green first, just for whatever reason. I always like painting green first. Well, I've also got it set up now. Initially, my plan was to use footage from the live streams to then turn into videos. But looking at the quality of the videos, I have changed it so it should be auto, what's the word? Focus. So yeah, so I've actually got my camera. I use my phone. I use a camera on the phone to actually film the bits for most of the videos. So I've got that here, which is pretty cool because you can't see it in either of the videos. So it's not getting in the way, which is good. But obviously, it still means I can video as normal and then make them into normal videos. So let's start on that and yeah, just crack on and get painting. Oh, that's something I haven't got going yet is music. Did wonder why again, whenever I'm talking and it's just me I hear, it seems really weird. So let's stick a bit of music in my ear. There we go, good old bit of 80s. And there we go. Back it down, you're going to go and bust a hole in your wall. Well, have fun with that. Be safe. So all goes well. So yeah, obviously you can quite clearly see as well. Something else I've done a little bit different on these ones. Rather than priming in black and then dry brushing white, I thought as they are sneaky, I would prime them in purple. And then I've just gone over dry brushing with a yellow. It's just a bit of fun playing with how you prime things. 'cause it does obviously affect the coat as it goes on the top. Um, yeah, they'll have a little sort of hue of purple, which is cool. Main thing is that the green is coming through. Well, I had considered painting these purple just because obviously they're sneaky. But I thought, yeah, the problem with that is I love green, which is why I like well, green orcs. So yeah, I'm gonna paint them purple, but did the undercoat in purple. So these miniatures are a little bit oversized, but obviously I wouldn't be using these in any kind of game anyway, so that's fine. I would say it'd make it easier to paint them. Obviously, I think there's only one guy who can actually see his eye. I can see his eyes on that one. But yeah, obviously some of them, uh, yeah, you can't really see them at all. On his face, I guess. So we do the whole of his face, but then I do go over and paint the lips. That's sort of a pinkish colour. If their tongue is visible, then I will do their tongue in a red, and then obviously teeth greyish and greyish and white. Yes, so there's not really gonna be a lot of green seen on these. So they're all, it's just for a bit of fun. So hey gears, they've taken a couple of printers now. I think it's the RS, is it Reflex? There will be a probably video coming out showing me, not unboxing the printer, but obviously showing it in use, showing me print these, and then obviously a quick bit of me painting these. So again, this is just me trying out another time to do live streams, just to see who's on really. See a bit of a nose in there. This is what I can really get to. So I can kind of see he's got obviously a body in there. But certainly can't get my brush in there, and it's that dark. Um, yeah, doesn't really need paint in there. Couple more to do. So yes, it's Mr. Modular, who makes obviously a ton of awesome looking Orks, and he's over on My Mini Factory. So go with My Mini Factory, just type in Mr. Modular, and yeah, you'll be able to see all that he does. See a bit of face coming through, like the old the Grouch, isn't he, of Sesame Street? Same colour. I don't think the Grouch had guns. Well, he may have done. With the purple sort of purple and yellow undercoating has worked. Works all right. We might be wearing gloves, fingerless things, on one hand anyway. Oh, I might be able to poke a bit of green into his eyeball there, kind of. Yeah, I think that's all the green I can see. Didn't take long. Let's clean the brush. See another hot day here in the UK. Although it's the summer holidays have started. This was the last week my children at school. Um, well, one's at school, one's at college, and one's homeschool. So yeah, so the chances are come next week, as the kids are all off, it'll probably change in weather and it'll be chicken again. Like, to be honest, I'm quite be happy with that. Um, yeah, Thomas, yeah, these were primed in purple. They were dry brushed with yellow. Well, the yellow colour looks a bit greenish, but yeah, they were. Don't know how you can see that. There we go. So warped yellow. Oh, will colour focus eventually, or not. Um, yeah, primed in purple. The primers I use, it's the Colour Forge, full range of colours, and yeah, they do purple. So as these are sneaky kits, I thought, well, let's prime them in purple, dry brush yellow, still painted green because I'd rather my books were green than purple. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to do something a little bit different for, well, for the priming of the colour. So as I say, yeah, not a lot of green. And the green I have just used is good old charming chart rousse. Sounds a bit better. Chartreuse. Yeah. Yeah, and then we're going to paint the bits and pieces. So they're all. I just sort of leave them down so you can just sort of see that they are there in the background. Um, but yeah, they're pretty fun. Um, Obviously, these are printed out a bit bigger than they should be. Um, no real reason for that. I just left them on the settings they were. They're always a bit bigger. Sort of, you have to reduce the size down when you do 3D print things if you want them to be the same sort of size as, well, oh, pardon me, the other kind of miniatures you use. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to be using these for anything. In fact, my daughter has already earmarked these, and she would like them on a shelf. No, not you, the other daughter. So one of my daughters is here, one of my other daughters is out, when she's dying someone's. Um, yeah. Well, hey, hello to you. Hope you are well. You like the low range of the purple juice. I have tried before where I have, can't remember which one I did. I'm sure I have primed other orcs in purple and then dry brush with yellow. Um, Again, it just gives it a different sort of look when you do paint the colours over the top. Yeah, they have that little bit of a different hue, I guess is the word to them, I think, possibly. So yeah, it just varies the look of them. And again, it's fun to try something and just see what it does. ND, hello, how are you? You're well. Good to see you back here again, buddy. So, as I say, we're going to have a red tin. There's going to be a brown box or brown wooden crate, brown box, silver tin, and then obviously black for the tyres. So, yeah, in reality, I should get these painted in this 2 hours. So if I wasn't live streaming, then I'd probably get these painted in under an hour. But obviously, live streaming, there's a little bit of chat going on. So, yeah, just go a bit slower. So yeah, I mean, I know he's meant to be sneaky, but we're going to put him in a nice brightish red tin, just so obviously he can run fast. What do you guys have on your painting tables at the moment? Are you guys painting anything, or in the middle of painting something, or could be painting later on? Amy, all good. Just finished work. Awesome. On a Friday, nice. Stream from the bus home. Cool. The more you see these, the more you need your own set of sneaky orcs to go with commandos. Awesome. Emmanuel, hello there. Hello from, well, the UK. Good to see you from Italy. Awesome. So the as well. Paint everything red. Makes things simple. Then you have the Hulk Buster model. Oh yeah, you mentioned that the other day, didn't you? It's too hot to paint. Maybe tomorrow. So yeah, the weather it's just nuts. It's just not let up at all, is it? I'm not even sure how many weeks we've had now. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, just constant sun in the UK. And I know, obviously, I love the sun. It's just the humidity. It's just not nice and pleasant. So at the moment, I'm not. You'd normally have a fan up the top on my shelf, blown onto my laptop. I've currently got the fan under my desk, blowing to keep me cool. Um, Mainly because I don't like fans or air blowing into my face, especially near my neck, because it gives me a stiff neck. So yeah, I've got the fan under my desk. Right, so that's him done. I'm going to paint the box one because I mean this was my daughter's favourite one, was the cardboard box. Um, yeah, so you got the love orcs and well their mentality. Um, that they obviously think this is sneaky, and they can just sneak up on you and then shoot you or chop you with an axe. And yeah, that's why I love orcs because they're just silly, they're just fun. Obviously, they look great, they're big, they're chunky. And yeah, if you go and check out Mr. Modulor's page over on my mini factory, you'll be able to see a lot of orcs that are yeah, a little bit different from your normal orcs, which I love. Plus, he has it's like a full range of like army looking orcs, and I love how they look. So I could probably print one of those out soon. There's a nice jeep that goes with it. Although the other thing I want to print out, Mr. Module, is he does some Star Wars themed orcs. So he has some stormtroopers, he has Darth Vader, although obviously it's called something different. I can't remember what it's called. But he also has TIE fighters and X-wings. And TIE fighters, obviously, I love Star Wars. Saw it back in '77 because I am old. And yeah, the TIE fighter, my favourite spaceship. Millennium Falcon, obviously, as well. But yeah, I just love the look of the TIE fighter, the sound of it. So that's what, yeah, I may well print one of them off. I've been wanting to print one off for ages. So, Ben, quick stop. Have to get the kids from military camp. Well, thank you for stopping in and hello there. Space Nugget, love the name. That's awesome. With love from Russia. Oh, cool. Painting figurines. Oh, nice. It's good to have you here. And yeah, love the name. As I was saying the other day, there's certain names that when I used to live stream a few years ago. So I can't remember what his name was, but whenever I whenever I saw his name, it made me laugh or smile. But then when I said the name, yeah, it kind of gave me the giggles just because it was a real fun, friendly name. And yeah, Space Nugget, that's definitely up there. Right, so as I say, I've got a camera here, phone. Luckily, it's just out of shot of both cameras, which is good, as it means I can sort of film what I'm doing. As obviously, when I'm doing these live streams, whether I'm painting, will be turned into a normal video, so you can see the full stage from beginning to end without obviously having to scroll through 3 hours, 4 hours, however long it is I'm doing the live streams. And if anyone's new, obviously the reason I'm doing the live streams, every day I'm painting. So it just seems fun. But yeah, I can be live, yeah, painting live with you guys. I say, especially as I'm going through a lot of my pile of opportunity, my pile of fun. It's on a shelf just to my right. And I'm going to be posting what I've got over on Facebook. So my link might still be on the screen. But yeah, if you go over to my Facebook page, give that a little follow, you'll be able to see exactly everything I've got that I need to paint. Because obviously I want your sort of input in what I paint next, maybe even what colours I use to paint things, or if I do any kit bashing, you can give me some ideas of what the kit bash. So a lot of the stuff I've got, um, there's a lot up there. Pretty much most of the stuff I brought at least 3 years. Let's say at least 2 years ago. Between 2 and 4 years ago, I brought a lot of stuff up there. But when I've gone through it recently, I've brought the box of whatever it was, took one miniature out, painted it. So a lot of the boxes are kind of incomplete, which is why I like the idea of doing a bit of kit bashing. and just having fun and making something new and doing like the old framed dioramas. So the other thing I do is obviously like these boxes. Turn them off. 3D print the box, and then yeah, put miniatures in. So with this box, you might have seen I did with all the Armageddon Orks. Yeah, put that on eBay last night. Someone's bought that, which is awesome because I say this is my sort of full-time gig. So me selling things is how I fund the channel and obviously myself. Um, so yeah, so I've got obviously all the Space Marines that came in the Armageddon box. I'm not really into painting Space Marines. I love the look of them because they're big, chunky, and well, they're Space Marines, and every kid loves space and all the rest of it. Um, but yeah, when it comes to painting them, they're all pretty much sort of one colour, whether it's blue, red, green, black, or whatever it is. So yeah, so these guys are going to be made into a similar sort of frame diorama as the Orcs, as in these are all going to be sort of in here. So you can have the normal ones, which I can't remember what they're called. Obviously, I've got the instruction manual from when I made them up earlier today. So what are these guys? These are the intercessors. There you go. So your normal dudes, intercessors. So these are all going to be down the bottom. But then there are the ones with the jetpacks, which is pretty cool. The Vanguard Veteran Squad. So yeah, so these ones with the jetpacks, I can have them see up the top, sort of flying in as well. So with the Orcs, when I did their diorama, they're all facing to the left as you looked at it. So with these guys, these are all going to be sort of facing to the right. Um, but yeah, I only assembled the Space Marines earlier today, which is why none of else done there. Yeah, so they can get put in there rather than me painting them for a video and then just sitting around gathering dust. I thought I'd put in a little frame diorama as a bit of fun. Still painting. As the models for the handles, yeah, I just use double-sided tape. I find that, I mean, it will sort of come off. Yeah, I used to use blue tack, but I found the blue tack, it worked initially pretty well. Then after a while, it would get loose and pop off. Whereas, yeah, double-sided tape does seem to work a whole lot better. So that's what I use now. Because you can get, I mean, I use just normal cheap double-sided tape. You can get sort of not industrial tape. It's like a lot thicker, and literally you could stick things to the walls with it. So yeah, if you ever did have issues with them coming off, yeah, double-sided tape seems to work really well. So especially because obviously all the miniatures I've got, I'm never going to play with them. So I play kill team, and well, I've got quite a few kill teams, mostly orcs. Although I use them, but I don't play them as the orc sort of kill team. So I only play kill team with my mate. So we use the rule of cool. So it doesn't matter that your miniature isn't a full representation of what it's meant to be. Obviously, if they're holding a machine gun, I'll give them a machine gun, a rocket launcher. Um, but to say, I would use orcs in replacement to like legionnaires or any any other faction, as I do prefer 6-man sort of kill teams, just because obviously they're easier to remember what they all do, especially when most of the ones that I go for, typically the kill teams I like is when you've got obviously one leader, you might have one rocket launcher dude, but then you'll have two or three that are pretty much the same. And again, it's just because yeah, I've never had a good memory. So I need to keep it real simple. So yeah, I have 6-man kill teams. So yeah, that's why, like I say, all these Space Marines, I could do a batch paint of them and then stick them on eBay and try and sell them. I just wouldn't enjoy painting them that way. So say this channel for me is it's a hobby. It's all about having fun. And as much as I do obviously earn money from this channel, everything I do on this channel is fun. So that's why, yeah, all these Space Marines and a few others, so the ones that go jet packs, whatever they are, jump packs, yeah, they're going to get put in this. But then again, having problems focusing. I put it on autofocus just so I can move things up and down, but it does seem to have a lot of issues focusing. So I may have to change that and put on manual focusing. But yeah, so that's why I'm going to have fun making, yeah, making dioramas. Is cool. You put a model on a strip of wood to spray. Well, with them, yeah. So yep, I've 3D printed my own handles, and then when it comes, oops, when it comes to painting them, I stick them on one of these. So literally, these all got put on this, um, just so I can hold obviously one handle, and I can prime 5 at once. Just make it nice and easy to walk outside, bosh, 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 bring it in, take these off, then put another 5 on, take them out. And obviously, as well as that, I do have. Oh, let's see if I can look more things. I have these other trays. Again, 3D printed a tray. So quite often when I am painting things, because I start a project and then I do other projects, it's easy for me to sort of put a load of miniatures on this, and then I can just sort of move them around as a batch. Um, so again, this is why 3D printers are the best thing ever. Being able to make exactly what you need in your own home, whether you design it yourself like this, sort of be simple, or you look online that someone else has made something. So yes, that's what I've got. Oh, I don't know. I've probably got about 40 painting handles now. Initially, I think I made about 10. I thought, yeah, 10 would be enough. But because now, say, I've got loads of miniatures up there that I've primed, ready to be painted. And the good thing is, say, I just keep printing out more and more of these. So these ones are a little bit different. They've got a hole in the middle because some of them I've put magnets in. Again, so when I do the miniature, I can put it on there and the magnet will keep it there. Some obviously have holes in. I put wires in. 'Cause sometimes I used to paint a lot of miniatures without bases because I like the miniatures that I use in games. I put on clear bases, so that's why I don't put a base there. But to paint the miniature, I have wires coming up through the holes into the feet of the miniature, just so I can paint it, and then I stick it on a clear base afterwards. So yeah, 3D printing means I can make up loads of things like this just to make basically it makes things easier in the hobby, because I can say move a lot of miniatures around in one like one simple little pickup, bosh, move it around. Anyway, that little waffle. Let's get back to a little bit of painting. So the boxes, as I say, it's not really going to take too long. Might do a little bit of edge highlighting on these afterwards. There's those two done. Uh, let's do good old Grouch. So say he's going to be done in silver. I have got the speed paint silver, but it goes on too well. Um, you don't really get to see a lot of difference when this goes in the nooks and crannies. But I prefer this silver as it's more silver silver because it's quite a dark one. So I'll be using this and I'll just go over it with a wash sort of afterwards. Andrew, good morning to you. I hope you're well. So whereabouts are you then? Yeah, guys, let us know where you are. So I've had a few people mentioned. Got Emmanuel from Italy, Space Nugget, love the name. It's from Russia. Yeah, guys, let me know where you are in the comments. As obviously a few of you are saying morning, so I'm guessing America. Um, yeah, the Romeo. Yeah, morning, afternoon. Yeah, you get 3D printer. Yeah, or get a YouTube channel. And then eventually 3D companies will send to them, which is just nuts. So I still can't believe that companies send me stuff. Um, I mean, it's obviously awesome. But yeah, I know when I first started this channel, there was a few other channels that I used to watch, and one of them was a 3D printing channel. And this guy basically he'd get 3D printers. I can't remember what it was called. Something like AOG. I don't know, it's quite a weird name, this other channel. But yeah, I used to watch his channel. And basically he was like he'd get 3D printers and he'd sort of go through them and show you what they were like. And it was like, wow, you get sent 3D printers to mess about with. Um, yeah, 'cause I think I've only bought one 3D printer. I think the very first one I got was either a Mars one, or sorry, Elegoo Mars, or any Cubic. I can't remember which one I got, but it was a very small one, and I bought the small wash and cure thing to go with it. And then luckily since then, yeah, I've only had to buy, only bought the one. And it's the problems sort of focusing, it's changed the thing. Uh, I've moved the camera a bit further away. The problem where the camera was before, it meant that I couldn't zoom out because the camera was that near, it was already zoomed out. So that's why I've got it zoomed out, or sorry, the camera's further away, but zooming in. Um, just so I can obviously show you more of what's kind of on my desk. So for some reason, it does feel like it's having problems focusing. So let's take it off manual. Sorry, take it off auto and put it on manual. The exposure was messing about as well. Right, it might work better now because I think before, for some reason, the exposure was on auto. Which again, any little change in lights and it would be just messing about like. Yeah, I'll give that a go. So no, the good thing now is because we've got it set up so the camera is further away. So I am eventually going to get another screen to go right in front of me. At the moment, I've got like an L-shaped desk. So obviously, where I'm facing now is the sort of painting area, and then the other part of the desk is like just the normal desk with my screens, where I obviously typically watch Prime or Netflix or whatever. Um, but yeah, I need to get a third screen, so I can have one right in front of me, so I can keep looking at the camera while I'm sort of messing about with. So this one, obviously, I can now zoom out so you can see more. Oh, there you go. You can see part of the arm and obviously my phone. Which is so I've been using my phone to film all the videos I've made on this channel. So for the past 6 years, I've just used the camera on my phone. So you can show you don't need to buy expensive gear to sort of make a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. Um, yeah, just keep it simple. Let's go further, so you can't see the edge of the what's it. Um, so I can go a little bit nearer. So how near I can get. That's kind of pretty much it. Really. Yeah. Right, let's get check. So, West London. It's where I'm from. I'm from West London. Hounslow is where I was born and raised, and now I'm in Hampshire. Um, Milk is USA, Iowa. 35 degrees and 9 a.m. Oh wow. So you're probably getting a bit hotter than we are. 'Cause I think the highest we've had was 35 like about a week or so ago. So so that's why I've been all over the world. I did a lot of traveling when I was in the early 20s. I think I spent about 5 years just traveling around the world. And I've never experienced, well, no, I think Japan's been the other place I've been to where it's been so humid, just literally walking, you're dripping. But yeah, the heat in the UK is so different to the heat everywhere else I've been. It's like I spent 6 months in Israel working on a farm there. And again, the temperature there, I think the average was like 38 to 40. I think 43 was, I think, the highest temperature I've ever sort of worked in. But again, completely different heat. So you don't sweat. It's a dry heat. Obviously, you need to drink plenty of water. Um, but yeah, you can. So I was working out on a farm, and yeah, it was fine. Whereas here in the UK, let's go outside, walk 20 feet, and I'm just driven. And but you're working on it. Yeah, one day. So that's yeah, that's kind of how I sort of saw it. Start a YouTube channel for a bit of fun, and then yeah, it just sort of progressed from there. Let's film a little bit of this one. Reactions done in there. If anybody's just joined in, these are sneaky bits from Mr. Modular over on My Mini Factory. Absolutely love his stuff. And yeah, he's got a variety of sneaky orcs. Um, yeah, so I 3D printed these on the Hay Gears RS 3D printer. Um, and yeah, there'll be a video out showing me the full process really of painting, printing, and all the rest. So we're going to do the, oh, well, to say, the good thing, those army painter, they do have a variety of blues, browns, greens, and all the rest of it. So, yes, I've done the light brown for the box, even though it's come out quite dark. But that's probably because, say, rather than doing the usual priming in black, dry brush in white, I've done it a little bit different. And I've primed in purple, because obviously they are sneaky orcs, so going to be in purple. And then dry brushed with a yellow. Obviously, the yellow, it's warped. I was going to show. Yes, no, kind of. Oh, there we go. Yeah, warped yellow is what I used. I only did one coat, and that's why when it's dried a little bit greenish. I probably could have gone over and given it another little light dry brushing. I quite liked the effect it left, so that's kind of why I've left it as it is. So yeah, so this is going to be the darker brown. The darker brown I'm going to go for is satchel brown. Just get another drink. It's great. First, not that obviously drinking Pepsi is going to really help. So I've got some water beside me as well. So at the moment, I'm still messing about with the times of doing live streams. Before when I used to do them, it was like 8 o'clock in the evening. That's probably what they will eventually end up being. I just thought I would do a few live streams early on in the day just to sort of see if people were about. Um, Yeah, 'cause the plan is to sort of live stream 3 times a week, perhaps. Um, but I'm always saying every day I'm painting a miniature of some sort, or I'm making something. So I thought it'd just be fun to do some live streams, have you guys along, and the fact that you guys can give me some input on what to make or paint, or whatever you'd like to see me make or paint. Really. What I might do when this one dries, definitely give this like a dry brush with a lighter brown because this is definitely quite a dark brown. I think I'll just paint that a little bit green then. Obviously, sometimes I do go for the wrong colour, especially when they're quite similar. Right, let's lose it again. It's definitely a dark brown. So might do a little bit of dry brushing afterwards just to sort of miss the whole panel. Well, I know I sometimes miss little bits, but that's taking a biscuit. That is. Envy, you're doing different kill teams. You picked up a few, not want to collect big armies. Yeah, yeah. The little squads are cool. So especially if you play kill team with a mate and you don't have to sort of be exact in what you're using, then say use the rule of cool. So you have cool looking armies that are pretty much what they're meant to be. They can be a little bit kind of made up. The last one, obviously tires. I'm going to paint this black, and the best black I found for doing obviously Slapchop sort of thing, well, it's the intensity ink from Green Stuff World. This stuff is very fluid, so it goes into the nooks and crannies really well, and anything that's on a flat area is translucent, but it's not far off see through. Well, I must admit, yeah, this one I have to be careful with, because I know because it's getting so hot. Some of the paints, when you take the lid off, it takes the little cap on the inside. This is more my fault than anything else, because obviously inside some of the caps, I don't know, yeah, yeah, probably all of them. It's a little bit gunky in there. Obviously, I should really clean that out because obviously that gunk and the gunk on top, obviously in the heat somehow they're bonding really well. So when I take the lid off, it's only happened to two. It's happened to this one, and obviously, unfortunately, it happens to my favourite green, good old Gilly Dew. So I didn't notice that when I took the cap off, that came off with it. So when I've got to pour it into a little paint palette, it's all come out. So yeah, this was my number one. Got three greens I like. This was pretty much the number one at the top three. But alas, there's none left. So that's why we're going down to the second one, which is good old charming chartreuse. And then the other one, I think it's a Sprite one. Sprite, yeah, Forest Sprite. So they were like my three top greens. But now I've got top two until I buy another one. Or I need to get some more of this because this I use quite a lot. Well, I probably waste quite a lot because obviously I pour it, it comes right out. Um, I never did change the focus, did I? Do that. Yeah. As long as I keep everything at this level, it should stay in nice focus. And we might as well film a little bit of this one. Just to be a bit different, instead of priming these in black, I've primed them in purple and then done dry brushing with a yellow. Feeling I'd forgotten to do the top of the orc in this one. Do that in just a minute. So, so what I do with any kind of weapons, typically obviously guns, typically I paint them black and then do a little bit of dry brushing with silver. And then if I want to add some colour, I add colour. So yeah, with all the guns, we're going to paint them black as well. the guns, because this dude just has an axe, and the other dude just has an axe. I've still got a bit of silver left. I can chuck silver on the axe. Then I'll see any of these metallic bits, they're going to have a wash over the top. There's one more, but I haven't got enough silver in here. I'll have to put some more in. Before I forget, because I kind of already had, let's paint the top of this Orks. What is this? Head and back, I think. I put this too with the stuff. Sorry. This one was the green. Let's go find out. I think we'll do the trousers blue, like I always do. Um, Good old lizard folk cyan. As yeah, whenever I do normally paint orcs, I kind of think they're wearing jeans. So yeah, that's typically why I go with blue. Hiding in my desk for a little bit, moving things. Palm 74, do you have to highlight, etc., after use of speed paints? This is where, obviously, when you paint, you should paint for yourself. So whatever you want to do, you do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Sometimes, sometimes, very rarely, I highlight things. Typically, the speed paints, they do that all for me. I haven't really got anything quickly to hand that I can show. There's a lot of stuff that I'm painting recently. It's all been my pile of opportunity. I'm painting it, putting it in boxes, ready to send out when you want to buy it off eBay. Um, so yeah, so most times, speed paints they kind of do all that contrasty look. Um, because obviously the whole idea of this is it goes into the nooks and crannies, makes them areas darker. Any flat sort of top raised areas are lighter. So it pretty much does all the contrast work for you. Um, So yeah, occasionally I'll have a little go at highlighting, but I've always found whenever I do, it hasn't made that much of a difference, or not enough to warrant the time you're spending doing it. So with this, I'm going to do not necessarily highlighting on him, but I'm going to do a bit of dry brushing with a light brown, just because the brown I've used is quite dark and there's not much in the way of contrast. So yeah, so he's probably going to get a bit of dry brushing with a lighter brown. Might do something similar with the cardboard box. So again, he could be highlighted and literally just the edges, just to make them sort of stand out a bit. Um, Typically, I'm saying the wood on this one has dried pretty well because there are obviously in where the little bullet holes are, it's nice and dark inside. But then some of obviously the flatter areas on the top, they're a nice lighter red. So yeah, highlighting it's more of a personal preference, I guess. And so for me, I like to get in, get things painted, have have fun painting them, and then move on to the next thing. So this is where you could get one miniature and you could spend 5 hours, 50 hours even painting one miniature. If you're happy and you're enjoying it, then yeah, do it. Because again, that's what we say. This hobby is about having fun, doing what you enjoy. So don't feel like you're painting for someone else, unless you are, as in the commission. Um, Otherwise, it's up to you how little or how long a time you want to spend painting. I think that's kind of answers. You feel like the models you paint are flat. Um, do you do like the slapchop bit, as in priming miniatures black, then dry brushing white? Only because that does help to speed paints that a little bit more. Because obviously, when you prime them in black, then dry brush white, already you're making all the recesses, nooks, crannies, bits underneath that you can't get to. They're already darker and more sort of in shade or shadow. So then when you come to use the speed paints, it's almost emphasizing the speed paint because the miniature's already got dark areas in recessed areas, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, maybe it's because you use a rattle can. Yeah, when I prime, I'm using the rattle can to prime. I say these were different. These were primed obviously in purple and then dry brushed yellow, just because I wanted to try something a little bit different. And for their sneaky gits, and purples was their sneaky colour. So anyway, any odds because they're going to get painted. Um, but yes, that's why I do like to sort of prime in black, dry brush white, and then use speed paints because it just adds to that sort of contrast look. Really. Mine look awesome. Cheers. Um, I don't know if it's like trial and practice and just keep doing it, or keep doing it but change it up a little bit just to sort of see what happens. Um, yeah, have fun. I know after I've got a bit of silver before it dries. Like I said, no problem. Well, it's the heat. Normally, I put paints in this, and they'll last in here for like 3 hours. Well, that's what I use them. But it's so humid, the paints are drying up within like an hour. They're gone. So you've got a bit of a steel toe cap bit going on. Steel toe caps. Cozy over there. Oh, you don't have to. You can talk normally. It's the whole idea. I want to see if my microphone just picks up my voice. Basically, my children are playing. Oh, what are you playing? Overwatch, Fortnite. Playing Fortnite. I like playing Fortnite. They're playing Fortnite. But they're whispering. So they've gone and sat next to each other now. Bless them. Oh, they do love each other. But yeah, 'cause I want to see whether or not my microphone would pick up other sounds in here. So for anyone who's new, hi, I'm John. Um, I'm basically sitting at my desk in my living room. Yeah, I don't have a fancy studio. I don't have a spare room. I don't even have a shed. Well, actually, I have got a shed. It's not very big and it's got full of rubbish. So yes, I don't have anywhere special to work from or make videos from or live stream from. Um, but yes, I wanted to see whether or not my microphone would pick up other sounds in the living room or it would just pick up mine. So that's why I've just said to them to sort of talk normally. Although my son, bless him, he is quite quiet. He's about 6'1". He's 13 years old and he's about 6'1". But he has got a quiet voice. He's hot in here. Zenithal with a rattle can. To be honest, again, I've not got anything here. Some of the recent stuff that I've painted, I did Zenithal with. Yeah, good old primer in black and then white from above, kind of like 45-degree angle ish. Um, Again, I think that's where the Slapchop bit, it just helps that little bit more with the contrast because nooks and crannies are going to be darker. Um, but yeah, I did Zenithal because I think I painted like 10 miniatures at once. And obviously Zenithal in them is a lot quicker than dry brushing white on each and every one. Because it's just doing what you sort of enjoy doing and spending as long or as little as you kind of want to, really. Let's do a toe caps for him. Done. Now I think we'll just do another brown for their boots and the handles on the axes. Um, so yeah, there's not. Sorry, I'm definitely going to do a bit of dry brushing on him. I want to do metallic dry brushing on the weapons. Uh, oh, there's a blue, wasn't it? That's what I was going to do. It's so easily sidetracked. I think again, when I'm talking to you guys, I waffle on, and even I think I distract myself. Yeah, I literally forget what I'm doing. So I've got the blue ready. Don't think I've poured it in any of these. The only problem sometimes the colours they all look dark. Yeah, I don't think I've done any yet. Emmanuel, you're painting, so putting in orcs for Blood Bowl. Awesome. Again, I've made two Blood Bowl boards, uh, and I still get to play. I've painted quite a lot of Blood Bowl teams, but yeah, that's another game I want to play. Well, I want to play Blood Bowl sevens because obviously there's only 7 miniatures each side, smaller board. I think literally by about an inch either side, and supposedly it's a faster kind of game. Um, but I want to play. One day I am going to play Blood Bowl. A lot of the teams that I've got to paint up there are Blood Bowl ones. So try and Slapchop, great and white. Yeah, when I first started doing Slapchop, I would dry brush grey, let it dry, and then dry brush white afterwards. I dropped the grey because I didn't really notice enough difference. And again, it's more time. Working on 1 miniature, it makes no real odds. But when you are batch painting, especially when I was batch painting the pillage miniatures, um, so pillage is like medieval time game. If anyone hasn't played it, awesome game. Got quite a few videos, obviously, on my channel. If you want to check out the kind of miniatures you get with the medieval times. But they were like, I was batch painting sort of 30 miniatures at once. So with them, it would just be crazy to do dry brushing in grey, let them dry, and then dry brushing white, especially when, say, you couldn't really notice enough of a difference. But again, this is where it all comes down to personal preference and doing what you like and what you want and what you enjoy. Um, so make it smoother. Yeah, make it smoother. When you're dry brushing, two things really, I guess. Have a have a decent brush. This one is a bit of a wrecked and ruined one, but this one I like using mainly if I'm doing vehicles or terrain. I'll use this one. Oh, there we go. So this one again, I use makeup brushes because they're a lot cheaper. This one's obviously nice and soft and whatever. Um, you kind of want them wet, but not wet wet. Um, so if you get like a sponge with water, to add that a little bit. So it just means this isn't like dry dry. And then when you do the dry brushing, especially if you're doing it on, say, miniature figures, you kind of really want to do dry brushing in circles. If you're doing nice little circles, the dry brush will look a lot smoother and softer. If you just sort of like go up and down or left and right, that's when you can sometimes get like scratch marks. Uh, so say for terrain and vehicles is great. So terrain vehicles, you almost want to just go in one direction because then you will almost get like scratch lines, which look good for vehicles. But for miniatures, yeah, so you want a brush that's not entirely dry, but you don't want it damp either. It's a fine line, really. Again, it's more practice, but definitely when you do the dry brushing, nice sort of small circular motions, kind of like as you go round, and that'll definitely give you a smoother dry brush. So yeah, I think that helps. And again, it's practicing until you get it how you kind of like it and want it, really. Right. Before I forget again, I'm definitely doing the pants. So let's start painting some blue. Too much on the old brush tonight. So let's start that off. So if you put too much on, then you won't see any of the sort of dry brushing effects underneath. So I've got a lot of problems as well with the brush doing that like spraying bit where it's obviously like the bits come apart. And again, that only seems to really be happening because of the humid weather. Film a little bit of this as well. You really see much of his legs. It's nice. A few of these guys got just like little metal knee pads, so we'll do a bit of silver on those. I'm not too sure which one of these is my favourite. They're all just nuts. Um, Thanks for the blood god. Your favourite is the trash guy. I think if I have got a favourite, it might well be the box, purely because obviously all you can see. I just love the little the eye holes. Just that really is like almost a case of if I can't see you, you can't see me, kind of thing. Um, I thought I'm going to do silver on there. They got like little wrist protectors. Or brush is having a few issues. So, and this dude has got what looks like the old fingerless gloves. So I think I'm going to paint them red. Just because, well, I see the colour. I always sort of paint fingerless gloves. Like this be a material one. Material. Cool. Paint his glove red, I think. Their boots, and then we'll dry brush silver on the weapons. Bit of dry brushing on the box. What's the time? 4:30. That's not too bad. Yeah, so say this live stream was going to go to five. No, yeah, five. That's gone really quick. Oh, it's free today. Well, I was doing really well getting these painted really quick. But then looking at the time, it's taken me an hour and a half. So yeah, maybe it's not it's nowhere near as quick as what I thought it was. Um, Again, that's why I love this hobby. Painting. I just go off into my own little world, and the time's just gone. I can never tell if they're laughing at me now. They're laughing at me, or they're laughing at something else. Either way, they're wetting themselves, so they're happy. That's all I care about. Happy kids. Maybe at my expense, who knows? Uh, well, that's it. Tuck in their pocket money, that's for sure. That got their attention. Um, right, so we'll do the lighter brown for their boots because, say, that other brown, um, it's very dark. So I'm going to dry brush it. So we'll do the lighter brown. I think I put in the end one uh, for the boots. All over. Sometimes I do that at the bottom rim black, but I'm quite happy just doing that whole thing in a brown. Oh, I missed his knee. You can see his knee, so I should have done that obviously blue. Do that in a second. So before I forget, I will do the blue on his knee that I can see. Then Comrade Daka Daka, or just Daka. Dakka, 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 dakka. Sounds funny, doesn't it? Hello, recently found and have been enjoying the sprue, the sprue builds. Yes. Um, this try to build a Gork Morkanov army. Yes. Well, funny enough, the sprue videos they will be coming back. Um, there's some sprue goo I made earlier. So yeah, I will be making some more sprue videos because I've not made them in probably over a year. But yeah, sprue videos I will be making a few coming up. Any ideas of what you want me to make, by all means let me know, 'cause that's half the problem I have with the sprue videos is coming up with ideas of what to build. Timings, it does seem like 8 p.m. UK time is the sort of one of the better times around, um, to do live streams as there's just more people sort of available to sort of pop on. Um, so that being said, I might do another live stream tonight at 8 o'clock. I'm not sure. I mean, say I've always got things to paint, so it's not like I've never got something to paint or even make. Say I might start sort of coming up with ideas of what I'm going to do with this. So this is obviously the Space Marines from Armageddon. I don't really want to paint them just as they are. As I say, I like the look of Space Marines, but when it comes to painting them, because they are pretty much all like one color, blue, red, black, green, or whatever, and then just a bit of highlighting bits and pieces here and there. That's why I'm going to do most of my Space Marines from the Armageddon box set. I'm going to chuck quite a lot into a little diorama. So we're going to have the intercessors obviously on the ground floor, and then whichever one's one of the jump packs, what they're called, sort of floating at the top. So, yeah, so I might work on that later on tonight. Sure, maybe. Um, Jan, I hope the paints are non-toxic because I keep licking my brush. Are you a real painter if you don't lick the brush? That's the big question here. Um, I don't know about being toxic. Some taste worse than others. I know that. I would never say any taste nice, but there's certainly some of these paints like, ooh, that's nasty. I mean, the paints are all acrylic water based, so they shouldn't be too toxic because, well, they're water based. Then again, who knows? Then friends watching that plays GTA. Um, Obviously, finally, the release of GTA 6 is kind of imminent. Well, I say imminent, it's still a month or two away. Um, but I'm going to start another channel, um, it's a gaming channel where I'll be playing GTA 6. And I'll be doing live streaming of that. Again, it's just another sort of thing just to chill, really. So yeah, if anyone does like GTA 6, keep an eye out because I will be making another channel to live stream. Citadel Contrast or Army Painter. See that I started off with Citadel Contrast paints. Um, can't say I've used them in quite some time. I think primarily because I didn't have the full range. I only had, I don't know, about 20 or so. But then obviously, I don't know, about 2 years, 3 years ago, whenever the Army Painter Speed Paint came out, it's been out for a while, but this is obviously their Mark II ones. They sent me the full box of paints. Again, that's why I'm really lucky with this channel that companies send me stuff for free. So when they sent me their big box, that's when I primarily used the speed paints because there's so many. I say like the browns. I've got what? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. There's 10 different browns. Greens, yeah, is about 12. Blues, about 14 different blues. I know you can mix the colours to get new colours, but I like the fact of I can look over because obviously I paint all the lids. I paint the lids. I don't know if you've seen my paint rack system. There's a video out on it. With the paint rack, all the handles are painted. So instantly I can look and see exactly what the colour looks like. Because these lids and the paint handle, they were slap shops as well. So they were primed in black, dry brushed white, and then obviously painted with whatever colour it is. Um, so just being able to look over and see the lid, I can see exactly what colour I want to get. So that's why primarily it's speed paint. But I do have the full range of full range of grease and mold dipping inks. Really love these as well. The range isn't as extensive as this. Um, if you are just getting into painting, then I would highly recommend getting the Green Stuff World ones because this bowl is about the same price as this, maybe a little bit more, not by much. And as you can see, you get twice the amount. The one thing I will say about the different inks, they're a lot more fluid. So be careful when you load your brush up because these will run, they run really well into the nooks and crannies. But if you put too much on your brush, it will run everywhere. So these are the two that I use primarily. I have some contrast paints. I don't typically use them mainly because on my desk, I mean, there's what, 100, 116 of these, 120. So I've got a ton of these in front of me. I've got loads of these to the side, and then I've got normal like acrylic paints as well. So I don't really have a lot of room to put more paints. They all do the same sort of job. They all do a really good job. It's kind of just personal preference, really. Brown has dried up. So say this heat, it's just yeah, paints are drying a lot quicker. Brush keeps sort of fraying. So I was saying before, I think I sort of interrupted myself. This live stream will be going till 5. Um, let's say I might do another live stream tonight. Um, so if I do one tonight, then I might mess about with the Space Marines because I could try and get like your input in what to do with them, really. Okay, I was going to do the handles. Was it? That was the thing I was going to do. This brown. Cloth around his one. the little bits on here that could have been brown, I think. What we'll do a little bit of dry brushing on, oh yeah, this box for sure. Let's get a little dry brush palette. Again, good old 3D printing. Just about make out that it is my logo on there. And we'll do a light brown for dry brushing. Um, now a trooper tan, I think, will be cool. And as it's a box, we can use that my rough and ready dry brush, which yeah, certainly seen better days. So with the dry brushes, this I guess is a proper dry brush because again, some companies have semi-dry brushes. But when I kind of run out, I don't typically buy dry brushes. I buy the makeup brushes because you get a pack of about 20 for about £6, and they vary in sizes. Um, so this is kind of one of the probably the smaller sort of ones. But you can get ones that are well, about an inch, maybe 2 inches in diameter. So if you're doing like big terrain, get a nice big dry brush. But yeah, makeup brushes. Say cheap and cheerful, but do the job. Uh, Wazdakka, unfortunately, I haven't seen much green stuff well in Canada. Oh, okay, even on Amazon. Yeah, I think green stuff well, they're in Spain, I believe. Um, so yes, I'm not too sure where they deliver to. Um, yeah, they may not do Canada. I'm not too sure. But if they do, so the prices are they're good for the amount you get is just yeah. Not that I'm cheap. I'm definitely frugal. I like value for money. That's a decent light brown. Film this bit as well. So I'm not trying to cover too much of this. It really is just getting sort of top edges, corners, just to make it a little bit lighter. To say the brown I used was definitely darker than I thought it was going to be. So, so what we do, just like a little bit of lightness here and there. And obviously, by doing the lightness on the raised areas, it makes the nooks, crannies, and all the rest of it look darker, which they should do because they're in the shadows. So, yeah, yeah, dry brushing and speed paints definitely give great effect. That's really easy, which is pretty cool. I'm going to do the same again on him. I think with him though, literally just want to cap or sort of touch the very edges. Which is definitely my favourite, just purely because the little peep eyes at the front. Mm, the edge of the bottom of the books as well. It doesn't need much at all. I was going to do the same thing with the guns. Get that same brush back. So say if I was doing dry brushing on the actual miniatures, I would use the better sort of dry brush. But this one, it's rough and ready. It just works really well on sort of terrain or anything that's not, um, well, not a miniature. Anything that doesn't need to be nice and smooth. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. Silver, still. Doing time quarter two. That's cool because I'm not too far off finishing. Uh, they've got a couple of little sort of strap bits on their wrist. I think what I'm going to do actually is paint them white, because then I'm going to go and do um, a sort of soft tone wash over the metallic areas. So the bits that I'm painting white, they can have the soft tone over them. And again, it'll just make it look like it's a little bit oh, off white then. It won't be as neat as it looks when it goes on. I think I'm going to do that to all their straps. Gosh, she's definitely having problems in this heat. please ask, because I'm probably going to finish it about here. And it's what I need to do is obviously let the white dry completely. Well, I'm saying that in this heat, it won't take too long. And then literally it will be a case of just going over it with a dry brush. We'll do that as well. I can have some spiky bits I'll paint in silver once it's all dried. But yeah, any questions? Otherwise, say I'm going to be finishing it soon. Say I might do the live stream later tonight. Yeah, of me messing about, probably starting to put Space Marines in a little diorama. Um, I don't know if you've seen the Orc one I did. The Orc one was that way round. This one I'm going to do go round. And it's basically going to have loads of obviously the Space Marines at the bottom. With obviously some, there might be another little level where you have a few Space Marines at the back, that little bit higher. But then there are the Space Marines that jump packs, so they'll be like up the top. Or I may even have one coming out the front, so looks like he's sort of flying out of the diorama. But yeah, I might do that later on. If I do tonight's live stream, then that's what I'll do. I'm still trying to work out what's the best time and days to do live streams. Ideally, I just want to get into a pattern routine, what do you want to call it, of doing 3 a week. So every day I'm painting anyway, but at least if I do 3 live streams, it means we can engage together. You can see more about what I'm doing and ask questions. And obviously, I can try and get ideas from you guys about what you want to see me make. Because that's one of the hardest things I have now is sometimes coming up with what to do. Obviously, with the Armageddon box set coming out, it's great because there's a ton of books for me to paint. So I have got my pile of opportunity on a shelf just here. But rather than just paint a lot of stuff, I really want to go out and do more kit bashing because I do enjoy the kit bashing. But again, because I don't know much about the lore of any of the Warhammer world, um, I would literally be mixing things together that possibly didn't make any sense. Whether or not that could be a good thing, but I would like to sort of kit bash stuff together that hopefully did make sense, and maybe someone might want to buy and use in their Warhammer army. So I do have um, an eBay page where a lot of stuff that I'm painting, I'm selling. So go check that out. I haven't got the link right now, so the link should be in the description if you want to go and check out my eBay page where I post things. So something like this, when this does get made, then yeah, this will be up for grabs on my eBay. So guys, I hope you had a good afternoon. I say I'm going to possibly do another live stream later tonight at 8 o'clock. Again, that'll be for like 2 hours. And that's the thing. When I do start doing them regularly, there'll be like at least 2 hours, 4 hours is kind of like a good time, so I can get quite a bit done in that sort of time. But yeah, guys, have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is with you, and I will possibly see you maybe later on today. If not, I'll probably live stream again. Definitely Sunday evening. I think it's probably gonna be my next one for sure. Okay, you take care, have fun, catch you in the next one. Bye for now.